What's going on, everybody? It's Brian Trippe. Welcome back to another episode of the REI Live podcast, where we interview the very best real estate investors, entrepreneurs, and business leaders all throughout the country. And today, I have to tell you guys, I'm so excited about this particular interview. Getting to meet, we got Mr. Cyrus Kouandjio on the call today. How you doing today, Cyrus?
I'm great. Thanks for the introduction.
Well, it's just a treat for me, being an Alabama graduate. I think I've got you can see my degree right there in my screen. Okay. Alabama graduate, class of 2004. Been an Alabama fan since 1998, actually 1996. I watched at the end of the 96 season, I watched Alabama beat Michigan in a bowl game. I was a huge Michigan hater. And that's the reason I got into being an Alabama fan to begin with, because I hated Michigan so much. So I was rooting for Alabama to beat them, and they beat them in a bowl game. And I don't know what happened. I ended up moving down here. I went to school, ended up falling in love with the University of Alabama, and obviously, they're my team. They've been my team ever since. And this young man right here comes along in 2011 and joins, comes down here to school, born in Africa, goes to high school in Maryland, comes to Alabama and wins 2 national championships, 2011, 2012. And he's pointing to, if you can see up in his screen, the top left of his screen, our left, his right, one of the national championship trophies that he has a replica. I'm just super excited. But here's the thing, and this is why he's on the show. Cyrus went to the NFL, super successful guy, and now all of a sudden, real estate investor. So let's start right there, Cyrus. Successful college football player, All-American, All-SEC, NFL football player, retired recently, and now you have found real estate. Tell us, just kind of give us a real quick recap of that journey. How did you get to real estate?
Well, you just saying real estate gets me a little excited. I love real estate. I live it. I love it. I don't know. So my dad, growing up, my dad was doing construction. We'd help him out sometimes. We'd build a shed in the backyard, huge garage, actually. So I've been dabbling with real estate here and there. My first year in the NFL, I was dealing with a couple firms that do flips, that help athletes do fix and flips. So 2014, I did my first fix and flip. All throughout my career, I've just been buying properties and rehabbing and selling them. And lately, I finally retired. I went up there and I had a practice on a Friday, and I had a knee issue that I couldn't walk for a good 3 days. Just like a bone-on-bone type thing. And I was like, all right, that's it. I can't keep doing this. I literally can't. Physically can't keep doing this. So I retired and jumped into real estate. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, though. I've been trying a lot of different things, like a lot of different. I've been looking at franchising. I've been looking at stocks and stuff. I've been looking on e-commerce. I've been looking at a lot of stuff. It all felt like work to me. It all felt like just schoolwork. Trying to get a passing grade and stuff like that. And I just fell right back into real estate. That's not work. That's fun. That's fun. Getting up, checking your properties, driving around all day. You're not stuck in a cubicle. You're not stuck in the office place. You're driving around, looking. You have your team of contractors. Feels like when you're on the field, you have a team of guys, and we're getting something done, and we're delivering value to the community. And that just gets me up in the morning. That just gets me hyped, Brian.
Yeah,
that just gets me hyped.
Well, and I want to dig into that, Cyrus. I want to talk a little bit more about your journey, how you got into real estate, why you love real estate, and if that's something you feel like you're going to be doing for a long time. And I want to go back. I also want to talk about which someone I think is the greatest college football coach of all time, Mr. Nick Saban. I want to talk about that. I want to talk about how maybe his impact has affected you. But I want to start with this, Cyrus. People think of the NFL, and they might think of, millions and millions of dollars. They're set for life. And then you hear these crazy stories about people who make tens of millions, sometimes hundreds of millions of dollars, and it's gone like that. You don't really, some of the stuff that I just heard you say, I don't really hear a lot of, back in 2014, you did your first fix and flip. It seems like you were always business minded. Is that the case?
I think I was lucky. I think I was lucky to dabble in real estate. It forced me to save money. So I had like 2 or 3 properties. That forced me to continuously save money, put down payments on, save money. And I had a really good financial advisor that I switched to after my rookie season. Bought a whole bunch of stocks, and that just started accumulating. I barely even looked at it. I mean, think about it. Imagine you as a 20-year-old. I was 19, and they gave you $1 million. At 19 years old, $5 million, like 20 years old. That's hard for anybody to do it. There's a lot of guys that are doing it in this world. I met a lot of young entrepreneurs, and they're so impressive, but I wasn't one of them. So I just bought houses, and when around the time I retired, I was like, okay, let me just sell some of these houses and see what I can do, and that helped me save, me personally. But I always loved real estate. I mean, I just fell into it. I guess I was lucky. Like, what would you do if you had $5 million as a 19-year-old?
And this is the thing that like I think a lot of folks, I don't know anything about, I just hear the stories. I can't even imagine what it would be like for someone to hand a young kid that kind of money. Where, I mean, what would I do with it? I'd go, I want to impress people. I'm probably going to go get a fancy car, fancy house. And I can get it. I can understand how money can go super, super fast. And you say you got lucky that you were putting down payments on houses, because it's almost like a forced savings account. Is that kind of what you mean about that?
Exactly. And it was just continue to go up in value. My stocks just continue to go up. Like, the money I put into my stock portfolio is not the same what 9 years ago is different than it was 9 years ago.
Right.
It went up. So it not only helped me save money, but it helped me create more money, if you understand, you know what I mean. But yeah, not even a lot of stuff you like, we like to spend money on stuff that we don't need, and we like to, it's human nature. We like to flaunt a lot of times. And also sometimes we have families and we're kids, we have families and people around us that, aren't in the same position as we are. So we're usually the leader of our household, and the leader, and everything. People have real problems. So, and as a young child, man, you don't have that mental toughness. You don't have that world experience to know how to handle yourself, and know how to handle, your situation, your environment, and know how to handle, everything. You're not really mature, you mature like 25 years old or something like that, 20? I don't know.
For me, about 35.
Yeah, I did like 2 years ago.
Right.
And
I get it, and I understand, and it seems like such an incredible story. And then, like almost like a forced savings account, putting money away in stocks since 2011, when you first got in 2000. Well, I guess it was 2013. 2014, you got drafted.
2014. Yeah.
From 2014 to today, I mean, what has our economy done in the past 6 and 7 years? It's just done nothing but, go bananas, especially real estate. So almost like got really fortunate in a way that the market has done what it's done. And now that you've retired and you're in real estate full time, it's now time to take advantage of it. We were just talking offline before we started the show about, you've got equity in a lot of houses. You're pulling it out. You're doing fix and flips. I'm following you on Instagram. I'm looking at your Instagram, Cyrus, and there's like, I go back and look through all your pictures. There's not a whole lot of football, but there's a heck of a lot of real estate in there. So you really do love real estate. What is it about it? Is it the transformation of these houses? Why did you fall in love with real estate?
Why do I love real estate so much? I mean, I don't know. It's just, with football it's a fun game and stuff like that. But, it's harder to predict what you're going to do next year because of injuries. There's a 100% injury rate in the NFL every year, whether it's small injury or large injury. You're going to get injured, and you could either rehab it and continue to play or do whatever. But it's just high stress. But real estate, man, you just buy a property, you fix it up, and you sell. Like, it's very simple. You can, I don't know, I just love it. It's simple as simple mathematics, and
Is that something that
And
gets you excited? Because when we were talking offline, I could see you were lighting up when you're talking about, I got this much equity, I can pull it out, and I can go buy apartments, I can do this. Does the math of it, is that attractive to you?
okay, I think I know why it's attracted to me because growing up, I was dirt poor. I wasn't dirt poor, but I was poor. Like I was in Beltsville, Maryland, it's like a suburb of Washington D.C., PG County, and I went to an okay school, domestic, really good school actually. And I wasn't dirt poor. We were making it, but I was just like Dave Chappelle says, I was just poor enough, or I wasn't poor. I wasn't poor, but I had just enough money to know that I'm not doing all right. Okay, so I'm hanging out with a lot of friends, and they're in different situations than I was, and I'm thinking, is like this money thing? Is this like a huge secret? And in my mind, I had a poor mindset, as if like accumulating wealth, accumulating assets, and stuff like that is something only. It's almost it's impossible. I thought it was impossible, but now you just crunch some numbers and you look at the numbers, you see opportunities, and you're like, I can do this. I don't have a PhD. Anybody can do this. And that's one thing that one reason I love it. There's many other reasons I love it. But man, it's just, I was talking about a deal. Like, okay, so I have a house right now. We're about to add square footage to it and refinance it and get a couple $100,000 out of it. And we're going to use that couple $100,000 and put it into an apartment building, maybe a small multifamily, medium-sized multifamily, and have that multifamily pay for not only itself, but the house. So in this deal, we're talking about a free house, I wouldn't say a free house, but when you refinance, you get all the cash out. You get your cash out of your first house, putting it into another house, and then it pays for both houses. Like, right. It's pretty cool. It's I geek out on this type of stuff. Accumulating wealth.
Cyrus, I call it a free house. Like when you start talking about
free house.
You start talking about putting it, you get a house at such a price where basically you don't even have to, I know your situation might be a little bit different, but like the burst strategy where you can literally pull all your money back out, and the cash flow is paying for the payment, the rent coming from is paying for the payment, paying for all the expenses of the thing. I mean, it's the way real estate works and the tax advantages. It's why a lot of people get excited about real estate. And it's pretty incredible that you found it, especially because you're still a young guy. How old are you? 28?
28. Yeah.
So it's
Brian, the tax advantages with dealing with real estate, it's out of this world. I'm flipping houses right now, and I'm like, okay, we're making $100,000 here, $50,000 here, $100,000 here. Taxes take a lot out of it. Yeah, flipping houses, but there's so many advantages and other to like. Okay, so we refinance, we get $250,000, like no taxes,
tax free.
Do whatever you want to do with it. Okay, hopefully you're smart and you put that into another asset that accumulates wealth or something like that, or accumulates value. But you could also go take that and go buy a Lamborghini if you want. No taxes. I mean, I wouldn't advise that, but
well, I mean, the way people are making money on Turo and some other ways, if you can figure out ways to buy even, sometimes the liability, what's considered to be a liability in a lot of cases, but there's so many different ways to not only rent out your own home now with Airbnb and things like that. Now you can rent out your car very easily with Turo. There's lots of different things that you can use your quote unquote liabilities to turn them into assets. So sometimes I know people right now buying Lamborghinis, renting them out half the month, which is paying for the payment more than, and they get basically a free Lamborghini every month for half the month. So there's so many different ways in this economy to make money. And it's just super exciting to hear you. Cyrus, I want to hear the story of how we met. Do you want to tell people how we met? Because I think that this kind of ties all in together on your thirst for knowledge and your and your hunger for real estate and your love for real estate. Tell everybody how we met.
Yeah, we met at at a real estate networking event here in Arizona, haven't we? Yeah, we met at the real estate network. You said you were from Alabama. I was like, whoa, okay, now you have my attention. And then we started talking about football, and I was so excited that they finally lifted the Airbnb ban on campus. So I was like, hey, Brian, hey, we can get an Airbnb. We could buy $100,000 house, and we could make this much during the game weeks, and we could put all these beds in here. Like, they just lifted it. Let's all go scoop up all the properties and stuff like that. And that's how we met. It was pretty cool. It was like and then we went out and we had a dinner. We were talking more business, more real estate, and yeah, man, that was awesome. I love going to networking events. I love it because
it was just it caught me so much off guard because I'm in Arizona. I was speaking. One of my great friends was out there. He has a real estate club and speaking at his event. And I always, all my presentations, I tell everybody where I'm from. I'm from Birmingham, Alabama. And I always follow that up by saying roll tide. Exactly. And no one, 99% of people have no idea what I'm talking about. And I remember you coming up to me after I spoke, and I'm like, this guy, now I don't know, you don't look familiar, but there's something, hold on. He's a professional athlete. You're a big dude, offensive lineman. You're a big guy. So I'm like, what's going on here? And you're like, man, when you said roll tide, I went to Alabama, roll tide. I was like, really? And I'm like, waiting for you to say it. And you were like, yeah, I played at Alabama. I was like, okay. Yeah. Okay. Tell me your name. Oh, Cyrus. Yep. I remember you. I remember Alabama recruiting you. I used to be super into the high school. You were like one of the top recruits in the entire country. I know you played in like an All-American game as a high school kid. So you mentioned earlier, Cyrus, about, kind of growing up with modest beginnings. But I know you said you were born in Africa too. Was it Cameroon? Is that where you're from?
Yes.
Tell us the story. How did you guys get to America? How did you get specifically to Maryland? And you played high school ball in Maryland, and then I want to talk about Alabama then next. But how did you guys get here?
So my dad was he was studying something. He was working for the government of Cameroon or something, and then he was studying something, and they didn't have the level of education in Cameroon, so they sent him off to America to get a degree in something. I should probably know this, but we just got stuck here. We loved it. He wanted to go back, but his whole family's here, his wife's here. He goes back once in a while to fill out paperwork and stuff. But we got to one of those things where we're in school, we're going to really good school, we had a bright future. Football was going really well, and he was like, man, all right, I'm gonna have to let that go. So he was instead of having that high position in Africa, he came down here to settle as a journeyman electrician. And I thank him for that. But yeah, that's how we got here. Started playing football in middle school. I almost quit playing football in middle school because I'm coming from basketball and soccer, and they said I can't score anything. I can't score any touchdowns playing offensive line. I was like, this is a terrible deal. But my brother said, just stay with it. Cyrus Kouandjio. He said, stay with it. So stayed with it, got really good. Sophomore year, junior year, got 60 scholarship offers. I kept getting better, went to Alabama.
Well, hold on now. I don't want to skip over something, and I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit here because I also remember. Why are you about to talk about Auburn? I also remember you actually committed somewhere else.
Okay, all right.
Tell us the story.
Tell us the story. People mad at me, man. don't get everybody out of mad at me. But all right, I committed to Auburn on national TV. I did it. I went down there. It was like a 2 days after Auburn visit. And I was like, oh my gosh, Alabama is Alabama, but Auburn is so fun. I'm going to Auburn. And then a week later, I was like, I think I want to go to Alabama. So it was a good decision, good choice.
But your brother, though, he's older, right? Ari was already here.
Yeah. He was already here.
Yeah. So that you would think that would play some sort of part in the decision as well, since he was already at the University of Alabama, or no?
Yeah, Hey, Brian, I didn't know if I want to go against him once a year or play with him once a year. I didn't know. You're young, you fight with your brothers and stuff like that, and you compete and stuff like that, compete consistently. And I was like, it probably would be cool to line up against him, but nah, let's just stay with it. But yeah, it worked
so
out.
Cyrus, you end up at Alabama, and I really want to touch on this because we were talking about discipline and mental toughness before we started the show today, and just I think of when I think of stuff like that, I think of Nick Saban. I think of the process. You got to do. We've heard him say this so many times that you do your job. You have one job. You give it all you can. We're not looking at the scoreboard. We're not looking at anything else. It's you against your man, hat on a hat. That's your play, down in, down out. And that's what we're going to do. You win your battle, your little battle, every single play. Everything else is going to take care of itself. So when I think of people like, having mental toughness, I think of discipline. I think of Nick Saban. Now I want you to tell everybody, what is it like to play for somebody like that seems to be so just focused on doing the right thing every single second of every single day?
So Brian, if I take anything from Alabama, discipline, commitment, toughness, effort, pride. Discipline, commitment, is tougher, effort, toughness, pride. Yeah, those things. Yeah, he'd make us say it every practice. Fourth quarter. Mm-hmm. And that's what I bring to business. Nick Saban, he brings the best out of you, and he doesn't like mediocrity. One of those guys. Yeah, he's really intense character. He keeps you uncomfortable. And usually when we're in the championship at the end of the game, we are at the end of the year, we appreciate everything that we've been through, Nick Saban, he is demanding. He is he just in a short sentence, he wants the best. He wants the best out of everybody associated with him, around him, in his facility. And that's what I bring to business. Not in business, real estate. That's what I bring to real estate. Me and my partners, my contractors, my financial partners. We try not to waste any time. We try not to waste any resources. We try to continue to keep our business, continue to lower the expenses, increase revenue. That's our mindset. And man, Coach Saban's one of those guys, man. He's a funny guy, but when we're talking business, when we're on the field, it's business, and I respect that out of everything. I really respect that. And I mean, he was like my high school coach. We had a winning team in high school. It was all discipline, commitment, effort, toughness, pride. And yeah, that's cool. He's a winner. He's a winner. He's really willing to do whatever he has to do to win. And that's his life. And he loves what he does. That guy's not gonna retire anytime soon. Mm-hmm. He loves what he does. And I think that loving what you do gives you that energy, gives you that extra energy to keep pushing it. And just stay in the office. It's not work. Mm-hmm. And I'm glad I found something in real estate, because I checked out a lot of stuff. Like I said, I checked out franchising. I checked out this. I checked out that. I'm like, it's all work. I'll do the bare minimum. The real estate, man, we push it. We continuously push the envelope. Like, we even order all the materials before we even close on the property, buying the property. We order all the materials, and the fixer said we'll have all the materials ready to go. Guys come in, they get it done within 4 weeks. All major repairs done within 4 weeks, just to cut out supply chain errors. And we keep finding little things to make ourselves better. So what happens if we don't close on the house? We take the same materials and put it in the next house. So we're just continuously figuring out ways to get better. That's the short of it.
Was it hard? You said that your high school coach was kind of like it a little bit, but when you came to Alabama, was it hard to get used to somebody like Nick Saban?
No, it was easy. Like, okay, so we're kind of brainwashed. I mean, I think I was kind of brainwashed in a way that I'm used to working hard. I'm used to giving it all I got from my high school coach. Now after I'm removed from football and life starts to slow down, things start to slow down. We're not consistently doing things all throughout the day as a student athlete or as an athlete. We're not consistently maybe an hour or two to all time. I'm like, wow, like that's a lot of I'm looking around and see how slow everything is. I'm like, man, we worked really hard as a student athlete, really hard as an NFL player. I'm like, wow, I don't know. Sometimes I don't know how I did it,
Yeah.
But that's just mental conditioning. It was nothing. It was life,
So you said he brings the best out in you, Nick Saban does. What are some of the things that he did that brought the best out of you, Cyrus?
Okay, to this day, I think Coach Saban is still the best motivational speech guy. Because when he talks, it's real. It's not scripted. He talks out his heart. And the halftime talks in the locker room and those would always get me hyped every time. I remember I went to the NFL for a couple of years and I went back to visit during a game. We're in the locker room and he was doing his thing. This little short guy just had so much heart. I was feeling it again. I was like, man, give me some pads. Give me some pads. I'm ready to go right now. And gosh, yeah, Nick Saban's one of those guys, man. He just he's a really intense guy. Has a huge, when I say heart, I mean has huge. I don't want to say calmness online, but he has a lot of juice. I would say, yeah.
You said has a lot of juice. You said he does things to keep you uncomfortable.
Yeah,
and I feel like comfortability is one of the major detractors from just doing the right thing every day, from moving forward, from growing, just being comfortable, being stagnant. But he keeps you uncomfortable. How was he keeping you uncomfortable? What were some things that he might do?
I mean, we keep pushing it. We push the envelope. Okay, like if we start off a practice with low energy, slacking around, just low energy, it's like, this is not football. Let's start all over. It's not football. Let's start all over. And man, if you try that in the NFL, oh my gosh. If you're not Nick Saban, man, all right. It's just that environment, It's that environment. Everybody buys in. Everybody all about it. Man, I just get a picture of the 300 Spartans going out. They're let's just do this. But yeah, he keeps uncomfortable. Like you said, I mean, if you're either getting better or you're getting worse, right? Like you're either getting better or you're getting worse. So continuously grow, continuously get better at craft. And that was basically the motto. Never get comfortable. Continue to push the envelope. Continue to get better. And man, it rubs some people. Some people don't like that. Some people are used to some people just wants to chill out and they want to just do the bare minimum and they want to just get their job done. That's why I have a lot of partners. And I always give them, because we need to keep the energy. We're not just getting up and going to work. We're all pushing each other. We're all getting better. We're creating a habit of continuously pushing the envelope. Man, just always figure out a new way to improve the operations and to lower the capital expenditures, to continuously push the envelope. I mean, and it gets me hyped. It gives me an avenue to just go out there and continue to be, I don't know, get this energy out,
How big of an advantage is it for you to have had the coach that you played for in high school, have a Nick Saban in your life for a few years, and obviously everything that you did on the professional level as well? Do you feel like that has been an advantage for you business-wise, to be able to take that discipline that it requires to be a world-class athlete to the business arena now?
Yeah, I think so. Whether I got it on the field or maybe I was born with it or whatever it is. A lot of people don't like that though. A lot of people don't get it. A lot of people There's a lot of friction involved with that type of intensity. There's a lot of friction. At the end of the day, they always respect you a little bit more. But man, it's just like you have so much energy, you have so much juice, and you're so fixated on things that most people don't care about. And most people are like, yo, just calm down. What's the rush? Like, no, like me and my partners were here to be number one. You know, when we hang out with our families and we relax when we go home with our families and we chill then. But man, when we get to work, we get to work. And I pay my guys really well too. I paid them really well. Like I try to keep them motivated to bring to keep the quality at all-time high. Yeah, I just love doing that though. I mean, I just love continuously, I like to keep my guys happy at the same time. High reward but high work.
It's almost like it's a blessing and a curse. It's like it's a blessing because like you're gonna get the best out of everything.
Yeah.
But the curse side of it is like leaving the professional and even what you were doing at Alabama, leaving that kind of arena where so much is everybody's kind of you have to be disciplined. You have to have these qualities to be a world-class athlete. And now you come to almost like the civilian world where most people aren't like this.
Yeah, some guys, man. Sometimes, sometimes. Okay, just to be frank, sometimes you have to. You already know off the back that you're not going to work well with a certain individual.
Yeah.
And just because of the intensity, there's so much gap between your intensity and his care and your care. And one thing I have to learn right now is to trust that there's somebody around the corner that win this type of intensity that I'm looking for.
Yeah.
But man, the reward is so much better when I get to pick up the phone calls and talk to my investors and say, hey, I had a conversation with my investors the other day. I'm really conservative with my numbers. I like to stay really conservative with my numbers. So I always give the guys, okay, this is the least we're gonna get. Is this okay? Is this a good number for you? Yes or no? So the other day I had a conversation with my investors. I'm like, hey, I know we're only gonna get $30,000 on this deal. I know we said that, okay, we get at least $30,000 on this deal, and this is what I told you, and this is what I brought to the table to you. But now, man, we got in the bidding world, we're touching 6 figures profit. And having that conversation, bringing that to my investors, that's the joy. That's my joy. I'm like, yeah, we did this. Like, we did this for you, and we went through hell. But we did this. And that's just, I don't know, I think that's the team environment, the go-getter, the number one, that attitude, the reward, the dopamine hit when you tell these guys, like, yeah, like, we're looking pretty good. And they just see overjoyed, and I give them a bottle of whatever, some expensive champagne just to put the cherry on top. That is fun. That's not work. Is that work? No, that's fun. That's going out there and being a kid. Fun. So yeah, I mean, I've had money for a long time, so I'm not out like motivation. The money is like half the motivation. Yeah, it's half the goal. I needed to make I'm not here to lose money, but at the same time, man, I have other goals. Making my team happy, taking us to a different level, making my investors super happy. That's my dopamine hit right there. That's my dopamine hit.
Well, I can imagine that there are people who are listening to this, you listen, and they can hear the passion, the energy in your voice. It's like, I want to invest my money with that guy. He's going to battle. He's going to work for my money to get me more money. And it's to you, it's about that, but it's about way more than the money at this point in your life, at this point in your career. Is there a way people can invest with you? And if so, how could people possibly reach out to you?
You can reach out to me. Probably link my Instagram, just Cyrus Kouandjio. What's my underscore? You guys could reach out to me. You could post underscore or something. You guys could definitely reach out to me. I definitely have more projects. I have a lot of investors. So like right now, I've been posting a lot of. So I got like a handful, 8, 9, 10 investors, and like they're like, hey, yeah, I want to get in on this. So, like, usually they're mostly football players that they want to get in on this. But you run into a different problem. So you run into a problem. Okay, so you got 9 guys. You have to feed them.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have these deals with enough meat on the bone to feed all of them, and you have to continue to get deals. So you have to feed 9 investors. So what I'm doing lately is right now I'm sitting on the sideline waiting for big deals, waiting for $100,000 deals. Where's it enough to share with guys? $30,000 deals. Nobody. But now I'm starting my own wholesaling company, so I can get the deals myself, and I get to pick the litter. Also, I'm going into apartment syndications because there's definitely enough meat on the bone with those deals. So I'm definitely opening a lot more avenues to work with other people. But yeah, man, I mean, yeah, the passion, I used to hold it back. I used to hold it back. I want to be humble and stuff like that. But lately I'm learning about, that false humility. Hey, if you're passionate, if you're excited about real estate, if you're excited about what you do, I don't know, man. I'm just gonna be myself. I'm just gonna go ahead and be myself. And man, I love to be excited about it, man. I love it. It's funny, I didn't have this in football. I really didn't have this in football. Yeah.
Felt more like more of a job.
It's a job from Monday through Saturday, or there's some days that you have good days, but you're dealing with injuries, you're playing through pain, you're like bone on bone, inflammation out of the wazoo. But on Sunday I get to be a war daddy meathead, which is what I like. I like to go out there and think I'm a 300 Spartan, just clobbering people. So Sunday is all worth it, or Saturday in college is all worth it. Go out there and just be the biggest meathead I can be, surrounded by a team of testosterone out the roof guys, just going out there and doing that. And I love that. But man, it's work. But now, I'm like right now I'm on track to make my goal was to make my rookie minimum this year. And I started half the year, and I'm on track to make that. Next year, my goal is going to increase to go from my rookie minimum to what I made my last year. It was like you can look it up, like $1 million, $1.5 million. So I'm getting these goals, and and I don't have to break my leg, and I don't have to limp all week and go through pain, and hope that I don't get a concussion that turns like that right. Turns that hurts me later on in life. Right. But I'm not gonna lie, I get the itch. I still get the itch. That's why I went into MMA, because I went to see an MMA fight. I was like, yeah, I think I want to do this, because I felt the combat is going out there and just the combat. I'm still young. I'm 28 years old, so I still have that in me. Yeah. So, but yeah, to answer your question, you could contact me on Instagram. You could put my Instagram handle up here, or yeah, there's a lot of ways to contact me.
There's gonna be a lot of people who are gonna want to invest with you for sure, especially if you start getting in an apartment syndication where there's a lot more opportunities for people to invest. I think that there's gonna be a big opportunity, big future ahead of you, way past football, and we're super excited for you, Cyrus. Please reach out to me. I've got a lot of resources. Maybe we can partner on some stuff, but I would love to be a part of what you got going on as well. Real quick before we go, last question. Have you been following Alabama? Been following the football team? What do you think about Alabama this year and Bryce Young, and how Alabama's doing this year, 2021 version?
I think they're doing good. That last game, man, I was watching the first half, and I was like, man, we got this, and we had got this in the bag. I came back. I left and got some food or something. I came back, and I heard, man, we made it on skin our teeth. That made me a little bit nervous. But we're gonna get it. We're gonna get it, even if it's in the worst way. Like we got Nick Saban. We got all the best athletes. We got all the best athletes given to men. At that age in America, like we definitely have the team, man. We're gonna have another good season, and I might go down there and watch a game. I might go to Death Valley check that out.
Yeah, Death Valley is gonna be next year. We got to LSU at our place this year. Okay. And hey, if you make it to Tuscaloosa, you know, I'm a part of an alumni association. We'd love to have you at our tent, our tailgate. Reach out to me. We'd love to have you and host you, and love to see you back in Tuscaloosa, my friend.
Yeah, definitely. And one side note, I got a guy that got a bunch of deals you might want to look at. I'm gonna email it to you later after the show.
There we go. Yeah. What's up? Cyrus, man, it's such a pleasure, man. Thank you so much for doing this. Really appreciate it. I know a lot of the Alabama fans are going to enjoy watching this for sure. So I wish you the absolute best of luck. Please stay in touch with me, and we'll talk to you very soon.
Definitely. Yeah. Let's stay in touch. And it was good talking to you, man.
Absolutely. Guys, we love you so much. We're going to see you on the next episode. See you next time.